Watch this video through to the end. The cryptocurrency market is going crazy, and today will determine XRP Ripple's future. You're not prepared. It will be decided today. Will XRP Ripple's price be pumped by the SEC? Yes, it may sound odd, but all holders are praying for precisely this. Experts and Ripple's CEO, however, are not in agreement. They are fully aware of what is going to occur. They claim that within a few days, the price of XRP Ripple coin might rise to $13,000. 0 cents. Quite awesome, isn't it? Your mind will be blown by that video. Immediately, let's get started. Disclaimer. Bale tweeted, XRP just got the spotlight. Perhaps that is an understatement, as the SEC gets ready for one of the most significant events in recent cryptocurrency history. All eyes are on Ripple and its native coin. Today, Paul Atkins, the recently appointed SEC head, will speak at the agency's Crypto Roundtable, and there are already rumors that Ripple might become the main attraction. It isn't a sudden surge in popularity. Brett on X, a well-known market analyst, claims that insiders indicate Atkins is getting ready to highlight XRP and Ripple as instances of responsible innovation and clear regulations. A startling change in light of the SEC's protracted litigation battle against the business. Once a sign of regulatory excess, this might now serve as the model for evaluating digital assets. Additionally, the tone has undoubtedly shifted. Atkins has alluded to shifting the SEC away from its prior enforcement-heavy approach, calling his tenure as head of the agency a new day. His words, and those of Stuart Alderode, the chief legal officer of Ripple, point to a shift away from restrictive regulations and toward ones that encourage growth. That change couldn't have come at a better moment for Ripple or the whole cryptocurrency industry, which is in dire need of clarity. It would be impossible to discuss Ripple's path without acknowledging the brutality of the court battle. In late 2020, the SEC filed its complaint, rocking the cryptocurrency market and throwing XRP into a tailspin. Years of legal processes, heated discussion, and market hesitancy ensued. Ripple, however, retaliated. Additionally, the court ultimately decided in 2023 that secondary market sales of XRP were not securities transactions. It was a turning point, a vindication as well as a legal victory. Not only did Ripple protect itself during that conflict, but it also grew. The business established alliances with major financial institutions like Santander and Bank of America, expanded its global footprint, and introduced blockchain-based solutions for central banks. Ripple was progressively creating the exact thing that authorities claimed to want, despite the SEC's attempts to portray it as a threat to investors. Enterprise-grade crypto utility that's compliant. Now that Paul Atkins is leading the company, there's a possibility that Ripple's initiatives will be acknowledged as the standard. That would be a startling change in tone if the SEC actually did use XRP as an example of regulatory success. Furthermore, it would be a strong indication to the market that the regulations governing cryptocurrency in the United States are finally changing. Though it was humorous, Elon Musk's parody account may have expressed it better. For all of the anxiety and harm, the SEC owes the XRP community billions. After all, the community watched as its asset was investigated, delisted, and demonized before gaining fresh legitimacy and legal clout. The same community now observes XRP's transition from legal dispute to possible regulatory gold standard. Today's stakes go beyond a headline or a remark. The SEC has an opportunity to change the story, to demonstrate that regulation and innovation don't have to conflict. A, quote, careful approach to the whole ecosystem of digital assets may be possible if Ripple is recognized as a pioneer in compliant crypto development. Furthermore, XRP would not simply take back the limelight at that same moment. In the post-litigation world, it would aid in defining what responsible cryptocurrency looks like. The SEC and Ripple have a convoluted, emotional, and protracted story. However, it may now be evolving into a tale of leadership and redemption. You must be thrilled about this. And believe me, things are only going to get more fascinating. Crypto insiders are already raising the alarm as a result of the SEC's changing stance and Ripple finally receiving the credit it merits. XRP is more than simply a resurgence. It might be preparing for a huge breakout. It might just blow your mind, so you'll want to see what comes next. For those who persevered through the storms, the long-awaited moment may finally arrive. Congratulations to every one of the XRP holders who persisted. As Steph stated on X, We're going to become wealthy soon. That confidence goes beyond simple optimism. It is supported by a slew of forecasts that are drawing attention in the cryptocurrency community. Following years of legal challenges and market skepticism, XRP is once more putting itself through its paces. This time, however, the discussion goes beyond market capitalization and price resistance. It has to do with revolution. XRP can range from $27.00 to $120.00, and even $10.00. The forecasts are audacious and unreserved. When E. Gregg stated XRP to $27.00, then $120.00, he dropped a bomb. XRP is the next Bitcoin, but on steroids, Zach Rector went on to remark. 10,000 XRP is feasible. Next came King XRP, which raised the threshold to an astounding $58.00 per coin, according to Forbes. It sounds crazy, but keep in mind that Bitcoin used to be worth pennies, and now it's worth tens of thousands. What's causing this confidence boost? A mix of shifting regulatory landscapes, XRP's expanding significance in international finance, and a resilient community that has survived the worst. Barry C., a cryptocurrency analyst, recently dissected it. Because people will want to invest in the future of money, he thinks that if XRP reaches $100.00, it might soar to $1.00. When $100.00 no longer feels like a lot of money, that tipping point can set off an unprecedented rise. Driven by FOMO. For early Bitcoin watchers, it's déjà vu. Few people have faith in Bitcoin's future when it was worth less than $100.00. However, in the end, the skeptics turned into the purchasers. With XRP, the same thing might now occur. In fact, some believe that Ripple will transcend Bitcoin rather than merely follow its path. Ashley Prosper, a cryptocurrency analyst who examined XRP's development in stages, offers one of the most interesting predictions. Ashley's model predicts that regulatory clarity and the growth of Ripple's on-demand liquidity system would propel XRP to $500.00 in Phase 1. As more financial institutions embrace the XRP ledger, Phase 2 could see it reach $2.50. Additionally, XRP may hit $13.00 in Phase 3 if it is integrated into conventional finance on a global scale. Beyond that, $20.00 or more becomes a significant topic of discussion as part of a fundamental global monetary infrastructure. Naturally, price forecasts and cryptocurrency frequently straddle the boundary between vision and hype. What distinguishes the XRP community, however, is the rationale underlying their beliefs. Price isn't the only factor. They observe a fundamental shift in the cross-border flow of money, how digital assets are integrated into international finance, and how liquidity is obtained. You're quite fortunate. As Edo Farina stated in his tweet, he might be correct. We might be living in one of the most explosive periods in the history of cryptocurrency if XRP's tale is just getting started. It's time to discuss collaborations now. This one too comes directly from the top. Indeed, Ripple's CEO is speaking up, and his words have the power to completely alter the situation. This press release isn't like the others. It's a strong indication that Ripple's influence is rapidly growing around the world.